Colin?
Sam, this time last year, you made signings which saved Sunderland from relegation. Do you have the same task now?
I think new signings at this time of the year when you're struggling are always going to be very beneficial. But I do think there's a lot of quality and a lot more quality to get out of this squad. I think they showed a lot of resilience today. We're only done by not the round downfall in many ways, because obviously we were down to 10 men and couldn't get a sub on. And when Jeffrey Slupp had done a great job on Coleman, he wasn't there to do it when they scored. But in saying that, I was just having a word with the Sky lads that he was offside, which was my suspicion when I looked at it in the dressing room. So twofold, us having that bit of a blip in terms of not being able to get a sub on playing with 10 men, and then the offside decision that could have been given by the assistant, which was an easy one because it's right down his side, it's not on the far side, it's right in front of him, but wasn't to be. So we're very disappointed. We haven't got a 0-0 and that clean sheet scenario that we need to start building on. So I'd have been absolutely delighted with a 0-0 today, but unfortunately it's a bit difficult to take that we didn't get that.
So you do, I mean, but basically you do need reinforcements.
No, not really, no. I mean, if we don't get them, we'll still improve the players that we've got. We can always improve a player. The player can always improve himself if he wants to. I think we've got to get the belief and the confidence, and we've got to build that as much as we can. I think that, you know, Everton beat Manchester City 4-0 today, and we're lucky to beat us today. So we've got to take a lot of positives out. Also, the flexibility of the team by putting a back three in showed a lot of quality in how they played the game today throughout the 90 minutes. And like I said, we just couldn't see it out for not our fault really today. I don't think we were really to blame for our defeat today. Maybe we could have done that bit better on the gut, maybe not. But like I said, I think if Jeffrey had stayed on, I don't think Simon Coleman would have got in that position. And I think that we fought very hard for the last few minutes after that to get the equaliser by putting a lot of pressure into Everton's box. But the big turning point for us was the header on the free kick that the keeper saved. At that stage, I thought it was in. Brilliant save from the goalie, but like I said, disappointing day all round in the end. But encouraged by the way we're working, and hopefully going forward we'll improve and we'll end up getting some results.
Sam, you've dropped into the bottom three. You've never been relegated. Are you still confident that you can maintain that player?
Well, dropping into the bottom three doesn't make any difference. What makes a difference is how many games you played to how many points you've got. So dropping in the bottom three is irrelevant. At the end of the day, what you've got to do is win points when you play games, no matter what position you're in. And if you win points and start, and we've got to start very quickly getting more points per game than we're getting. We've got to start getting ahead of when we win a game, the next game we've got to try and draw it. So we've played 2 games and got 4 points, and then we draw the next one, and then if we lose one, we make sure we don't lose the next one. We pick another point up, and when we start chipping away at shortening the gap between how many games we've played and how many points we gain, then we start getting closer to our safety mark. So being in the bottom three does bring pressure, because everybody's going to talk about the relegation, threatened to relegate. But in all fairness, when you bottom the league from day one, you talked about the relegation zone here in today's society and what we do media-wise. So we've got to be able to live with that pressure. But points per games is our big aim, starting to pick more points up as quickly as you can. And, of course, stop getting beat. If we go on a run of 5 or 6 draws before we start winning, it'll build the confidence. But if we can win one, we need to win one pretty quickly now.
Right. Sam, you were saying the goal came obviously with 10 men on the field. Shouldn't the referee possibly have stopped the play before going out?
Yeah. Should have let us get a sub on, no doubt about it. Yeah. But if you ask them, they'll probably tell you that that's not within the rules of the game or something. something of that nature or so. But I do think that we're at a disadvantage for no fault of our own, and he lets it go on a long time where he could have blown up and let us get a sub on.
Joey?
I don't think Everton have any responsibility to kick the ball out, by the way, at all. It's up to the referee. He's the man in charge. But that's not the big issue. The big issue for me is the offside.
How important is it to try and get 1 or 2 more players in before the window shut?
I think it's important for everybody. I think we all have a desperate need in the lower end of the table. You'll see more business, I think, going on in the lower end of the table. You will in the top end of the table because of the implications of falling out of this division financially, particularly. So we'll all try and bring the players in that we think are better than what we've got, and that is the difficult task. 'Cause I can pick from 100 players tomorrow. There could be 100 players available for us tomorrow. How many of them will be good enough is the choices you have to make, and we have to make sure we don't panic and buy somebody for the sake of buying them, because they come and they can't contribute. So you're left in a more difficult area because you end up with too many players that are not good enough to get you out of the trouble you're in. And so picking a player has to be somebody that makes us better, in my opinion, the chairman's opinion, the recruitment's opinion, the coach's opinion. And if we can find that player, we'll bring him. We've already had several bids rejected. We've already had several no's from players that may not want to come and join the fight for relegation. So we've tried, we've made the bids, we've talked to the agents, we've talked to the clubs. We've had acceptance in some areas, not in others. We've had somebody that says yes, and then it gets too expensive, or somebody else comes in and they get him before you do. And that's a constant now until we get the 1st of February. And when we get the 1st of February, we have what we have, and we go forward with that.
Okay, last one from Ben.
Sam, just with Jeffrey, the injury or his cramps seem to happen when he's off the pitch, by which time obviously the physio can treat him and he can get back and defend. He inched himself back onto the pitch, trying to get the referee to stop the play. Is it then not his fault for staying where he was?
What do you expect him to do? He's lying on the floor with cramp.
He inched himself back on the pitch, so he should have just probably stayed where he was.
Well, the referee would have no idea whether he itched himself on the pitch or whether he didn't, would he? Because he's right at the bottom end there. So, for me, referee sees him go down. Referee sees he's not. Fourth official stood there, knows exactly what the situation is. All mic'd up. Yeah, referees watching the game go on and saying, look, that lad's not come on, they want to put a sub on.
Okay, thanks.
Stop the game, go and get him treated. But anyway, okay.
We'll do radio and then...